As you've decided to become a part of the entrepreneurial world, you might have heard such phrases as growing your brand, branding strategy, or brand marketing. In simple terms, your brand is equal to your digital personality. Living in an era where online and social media platforms are dominating, online presence is becoming one of the primary ways for businesses to connect with audiences, showcase their identities, and drive sales. To carve out a place in the baseball or softball industry today, you need to confidently define your brand and then spend the rest of your time living up to it. Let's dive in. Having a brand in marketing isn't about the business name you've chosen for yourself or that nicely designed logo. Your personal brand is how you present yourself to the public, your conduct, and your brand story. That compelling narrative that tells how you've overcome adversity and strive to become who you are today. Branding can take on many forms, one of which is this brand story or statement. Here's an example. Baseball has always been an essential part of my life. Sharing my passion with young ball players and seeing them develop in both their skills and confidence is what keeps me going. Having a consistent net positive effect on the journeys my guys have in the game isn't easy. I know that I am competing with a constant influx of modern day distractions and even misinformation from select others inside the sport, but we as athletes live for competition. I earn my players' attention every day with the tools of the trade, personal experience, genuineness, empathy, and a well-cultivated growth mindset. I strive to be both a guide and a model for what grit and dedication can achieve. Brand experts, the kind who get paid small fortunes by big corporations and fully funded startups, often look to screenwriting manuals as much or more than they do marketing books. They will tell you that a powerful brand narrative will hit many of the same beats that a great screenplay does. These screenplay beats, very generalized, are the introduction of the character, their goals, and their unique world. The introduction of a clear problem or antagonist that is misaligned to the character's goals. A resolution wherein the character overcomes the problem or antagonist for the greater good of their unique goals and world. In the example above of a personal coaching brand statement, can you see the screenplay playing out? The first sentence, baseball has always been an essential part of my life, establishes history and context, but also jumps the reader into filling in a lot of the gaps and going right to the next statement. Sharing my passion with young ball players and seeing them develop in both their skills and confidence is what keeps me going, which further develops the voice and goals of the brand as a protagonist. The next two sentences, having a consistent net positive effect on the journeys my guys have in the game is not easy, and I know that I am competing with a constant influx of modern day distractions and even misinformation from select others inside the sport, introduce and identify a problem in modern society and within the game itself. These things are the antagonist to the goals our brand hero had previously established. The last two sentences, I earn my players' attention every day with the tools of the trade, personal experience, genuineness, empathy, and a well-cultivated growth mindset, and I strive to be both a guide and model for what grit and dedication can achieve, are the resolution and show how our brand protagonist addresses and seeks to conquer the antagonist for the good of his clients and customers, who are, of course, the audience of any screenplay or brand's messaging. Brand and branding is not only the purview of large corporations. The exact same principles can and should be applied to your personal brand. In today's terms, those who have succeeded in building a personal digital brand are often called social media influencers. A social media influencer is a person who has established credibility in a specific industry. They have access to a large audience and can persuade others by virtue of their authenticity and reach, which is precisely what having a brand allows you to do. Each time a potential customer comes across your brand, you have entered a metaphorical job interview, and you and your brand are in the hot seat. Think about an actual job interview. Depending on the field you plan on working in, would you benefit from appearing more serious, creative? Perhaps it's a hands-on job, and you're expected to show off your skills right on the spot. Whatever the case may be, that first impression is what will determine whether or not you get the job, i.e., get their business. And that's what a design brand sets out to do. It tells people whether or not they should give you a chance and invest in what you have to offer. What can good branding do for you or your business? Each year, more and more pro athletes and coaches finish up their contracts, and more college athletes graduate. Many of them will consider making their private instruction and personal brand into a business. When more and more freelancers are entering the same job market, all of them are determined to distinguish themselves from the rest, and the competition keeps getting increasingly fierce. On top of all this competition, marketing itself isn't the same as it was just a few years ago. Professional marketers even consider branded content to be considerably more effective than old-fashioned advertising methods such as magazines, radio, or TV, which is good news because old media is ridiculously priced and notoriously difficult to measure. Nowadays, consumers do not simply buy from or use services of a company without a good reason. And according to research, 84% of millennials trust neither advertisements nor the large brands that create them. The majority of parents who will purchase your lessons and products for their young ball players fall into this millennial demographic. So it's worth noting. It's also likely that Generation Z, those born roughly between 1995 to 2012, who currently make up the majority of your potential lesson clients, will continue this growing trend of brand mistrust. Consumers will now more than ever dig into things, do their research, and look at how well the brand engages with its community while prioritizing businesses that resonate the most with them and hold values most similar to their own. To illustrate this point, let's picture a common scenario outside of the game. You know that coffee shop in your neighborhood that has good coffee, but maybe not quite as good as the one just a few blocks away? But year after year, you stay loyal to that first shop because you simply find the employees, the owner, and overall environment to be so friendly, making you feel at ease. That's because in essence, we like to connect with people and things whose attributes match, or we think they match, our own. This is how your online image, or should I say reputation, inspires people to associate you with the qualities and lifestyle that they strive to manifest in their own lives. When talking about the importance of brand, other benefits do come to mind. Your brand will stay with you as you evolve, as you get into more projects and decide to expand your business. With a recognizable brand over time, as you gain a larger audience, you will be seen as an authority figure in your industry, one who fellow experts will know and want to get in touch with. When it's clear to people what you do, what you stand for, and how you operate, it's easier for other entrepreneurs to think about collaborating with you when your values match. All of your future marketing strategies will be linked to your design social identity. Therefore, actively building up and developing your brand is fundamental to ensure your success.